Bum, 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 bum. It's the children of the Beast podcast.
Boom, pow, pow. What's up?
All right.
This is
good to go.
Children of the Beast episode. I think this will be 12, which is
12
great.
or 13.
I think this is 12 because the next one is going to be the 13 episode, and that's going to come out right around Halloween.
Oh, cool.
Which means
cool.
next week, costumes.
I don't know about that, son. I don't know about that.
Come on, dog. Costumes.
I don't know about that.
I'm already dressed in a costume right now in my Vikings jersey.
Is that a loser's costume?
This is the biggest loser of all losers on the Vikings. I have this jersey as like a joke. He's a horrible quarterback that like flashed out of the team. Christian Ponder.
I have never heard that name before in my entire life.
Exactly. He was the quarterback for about 2 years. Very unremarkable. This jersey was an extra large. I think I bought it for like $30 for my dad even, and he never wanted it because this guy sucks. So, and the Vikings suck right now. The Vikings are so bad. So I feel like it's appropriate to wear when they're playing this badly. Anyways, this is the Children of the Beast. Welcome to episode 12. We have decided it. I am here, as always, Andrew, with my brother Carlos. We are sort of live from the lair of the beast. You are in the lair of the beast. I am in my lair. I might be sick. I don't know. Let's just come out and say it.
You look pretty normal. Other than the fact that I'm guessing you're using a webcam, right?
Yeah, so the quality is not going to be the best. Your quality is definitely better.
But you don't look sickly.
I don't feel sickly. I've been coughing a little bit of phlegm. And out of safety, out of extra precautions, we decided to do it remote because ain't nobody trying to get sick in this environment.
No, and I appreciate it, as a matter of fact.
And that's what I appreciate about you, sir.
Well, good, man. Good.
I even got the Gatorade bottle, baby. I am in a costume. What's up?
You are. You look like a basic ass fan.
Hell yeah, baby.
That's what you look like. Or like a hyper loser about to play Madden for 13 hours.
Like not even like a professional Madden player, just one of the guys trying to become a professional Madden player.
I didn't say one of the best guys in the world, that motherfucker. I'm talking about a guy that's been hearing about people playing on the interwebs, the Madden, and this is day one, and he's got his shit together.
You know what I look like? Here, let me hit you with this. I look like the generic character that is created to fill the fans in Madden. That too. I'm like, yeah, go team.
Yeah. That is funny.
I got my hair purple to match the jersey. What's up?
Can't tell very much.
Yeah, well, it is.
I think it's the lighting and the camera. I mean, it looks dark. Now, as you get on that side, or that side, then yeah. That's right. Because left be right. You know? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. No, that's good, man. Good. How was your week? Work and shit?
Yeah, it's been good. We had a little boy at the preschool poop his pants. So we had all hands
all hands on deck.
We had an all hands on deck. Just swallow
all
the
hands
poop
on
deck.
deuce. All hands on deuce.
But you know, it happens. They're 4 years old, and apparently what happened, because I didn't see the act of it, I was told later to help. Apparently he said to the other teacher, I have to poop. And she said, okay, go into the bathroom. And he said, I don't think I'm going to make it. And he did not. And he did not. And
yeah,
to be honest,
but the intent was there.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to poop in the toilet. Yeah.
And he had the effort and he thought about it and he verbalized it. You know, I mean, the shit.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson to learn. It's a lesson for all of us, really.
I've had lessons, you know. We've all had lessons.
Who hasn't been there pooping your pants on accident?
Yeah,
on your way to the toilet?
Someone's having a lesson right now in the world.
You ever just almost make it and then just poop on the toilet?
No, like you miss.
Not like you're trying to say.
Yeah, like you miss. It doesn't go in the huge hole for the poop to go into. You miss. That's what you're talking about. Like you're taking a jump shot and you're trying to transition shoot instead of getting to the apex of your jump, and you miss.
One may say it's a premature expulsion of caca.
So you're talking about like when an airplane drops a bomb, right?
Yes, a gas bomb for sure.
And he's like, "Oh, we let that one go too early. The village is fine."
Oh okay, we should stop. We should stop talking about poop. This has been a poop talk for this episode.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, well, my son doesn't miss, but he poops on the beach, like Joey Diaz calls it.
Wait, what do you mean?
You know, the beach of the toilet? You know what?
No, now I do. Now that I think about it, yeah, absolutely.
Only Joey Diaz could come up with that shit, right?
That's incredible.
The first time I said it to Jamie, she looked at me with equal surprise and disgust, and then she laughed because she's like, "God damn it! I had just cleaned the toilet, and Jake just went in there." And I'm like, "Let me guess, he did it on the beach, didn't he?" And she took a beat, and then she looked at me. And I was like, "That's Joey Diaz for you. That's not my words. That's Joey Diaz's words." That shit's funny, man. But yeah, man, that Joey Diaz on the fucking on the
cabin
Bert Kreischer's show, so funny, so goddamn funny, and the fact that they eat a limo.
When the butcher comes out and it's just like, y'all fucked it.
Yeah, it's all fucked up. Yeah, man, it's funny. I like the show. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
This week had a lot better shows because last week I went too dark with some documentaries, man. And I know I'm gonna go dark this week because that Nexium one came out.
The
Nexium. You know about the cult. Do you ever read news, man? Other than
bro, all the time, dude. I read the news all the time. All the time.
So like a year and a half ago, there was a thing that came out of a cult in Hollywood with an actress that got actually charged and persecuted. I forget her name and what shitty show she was from. But there's a guy, as always, starts a cult. For what reason?
To bang.
Ding, 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 ding. Of course. Of course. So this guy had recruited these girls. I know I read about it, but it was like a pyramid scheme about self-improvement type shit.
Okay.
And it was a lot of powerful people that had become part of it. But at the core of the group was one guy with like 3 other girls, one who's a semi-high profile actress, and they were grooming other bitches basically for him to come. But to the point that they were getting branded with an iron brand and shit. It's called like Nexium or something like that. And so one of the girls, yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. But there's a documentary about it now, and it's like all a buzz. And also the Comedy Store documentary in Showtime, which is fucking tremendous.
I will watch that. I will watch that.
That one's just got part 2 just came out last Sunday, so part 3 comes out tomorrow.
Oh, okay, great.
It's really fucking good, dude. It's a good one. It's a good runner for me because I watch them while I run.
Sure.
And there's nothing like a 50-minute to an hour-long documentary while I'm running to forget the fact that I'm running, and then I'm like, oh shit, just ran an hour again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like a kid. But yeah, that was looking good.
Speaking of documentaries, I started watching Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it's good.
Very good. Very entertaining. I am enjoying it as someone that knows very little about hip hop. So
I had the same reaction. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I mean, it's never going to be a thing that I get in the sense that it's like for my sensibility of taste.
Yeah.
But
I never knew the narrative if the evolution of it all.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Also, you know which one's a good one? Because I don't think you're to my knowledge, you don't listen to electronic music, but
not really, no.
There's one on that DJ that was really young, Avicii.
I don't even know who that is, dude.
There's a kid who was from Sweden. His name was Avicii. And he passed away from a drug overdose or something after being clean for like 2 years. But what's cool about this motherfucker is that he took it beyond like DJing. It's a cool, the documentary is well made because it's not music I like and I fucking loved it and I watched it.
Yeah.
But it talks about how this kid wasn't just like what I consider to be a sound thief. That's why I don't like DJs, right? It's like if you were to take like 5 paintings and cut different parts of them and put them on a canvas, you're not going to impress me. You may impress other people, but I'm always perpetually going to be more impressed by the people that made the 5 paintings that started with a blank canvas with some fucking paints and they put it on there and then there was a paint, right? Your creativity of coming over to cut them up and paste them together and call that art, that's not for me. Have some other motherfucker believe that. Well, this guy started making his own noises to make his own music.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, and he did use like it's weird because if you watch the documentary, he was like a DJ and a producer, and he produced some songs that you have heard in commercials and shit like that for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, just around like songs that are inescapable that you're like, oh shit, I've heard that shit on somewhere, but you have, kind of. And that one's an interesting one. And he would go out and record like the sound of a fucking bird. Like he always had some kind of recorder and shit, and he had hundreds of fucking samples and sounds and shit. And eventually, he did end up becoming what I consider to be more of an instrumentalist, But it's that one's pretty cool too. In that same vein of something that may not be like the thing that you listen to, but then you like listen to it, you're like, shit, that's good,
Did you watch the video game documentary series on Netflix?
Oh, it's tremendous, of course. I binged it. An entire week. I watched an episode every single morning running.
I think it's called High Score. Am I right?
Yes, High Score.
Yeah, that's a tremendous documentary.
Oh, and let me hit you with another one.
Hit me.
You gotta watch some motherfucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater documentary.
I do need to watch that shit. You're absolutely right.
Word. Dude, for somebody who for me, it hits on so many levels because it talks about the entire story of skateboarding, which starts in my dad's generation with Dogtown and the Z-Boys and all that kind of shit, right? And then it goes into the Bones Brigade and Power Palta and all that, and then into the 90s and all that. But also, I remember every single one of the skateboarding games because I'm from the era, like, if you think about it, other than Pong, right, which was in the late 70s, video games are basically my exact age.
Yeah, totally. In the 80s.
Video games. Yeah. So if you bring up a video game, I was already alive on Earth playing video games, from Pac-Man to like anything you can go through, you know, which is why I like that fucking arcade or High Score. It was so fucking good, you know. Well, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater is a little more secular, obviously, but if you like skateboarding and video games, like, it's a no-brainer, and it just takes you back to the time where Tony Hawk was popular, the first couple of games, because they did their homework. They did their goddamn homework. They looked at everything that had been done in that fucking theme and just fucking supercharged it, man. It's so fucking cool. But that one's worth it.
Well, and for like me, like, to bring it more personal, like, right, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 on the PlayStation is one of the very first video games I remember playing.
No shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we used to play,
Well, so let me hit you with this. I remember on Fridays when you still lived at the house growing up, I would get to go into your room for an hour and play on your PlayStation.
Yeah.
And that's like my earliest memories of playing. And on Saturdays, I'd get to go to Ricky and play his Dreamcast, which was also cool.
Yeah.
But between the PlayStation and Dreamcast, like, those are my earliest video game memories of playing Tony Hawk. And I think on Dreamcast, it was Hot Shot Golfs, something like that.
Yep.
Like that, yeah.
Because Tiger Woods hadn't come out yet.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger Woods hadn't come out yet.
Had it been out on the PC yet? Because I remember...
I don't think so. I don't think it came out till 97 or 98.
I was going to say 98.
I want to say 98 was a breakthrough year. Because by 99, my fraternity brothers and I were already fucking like carrying our game cards, our memory cards, and our controllers to each other's houses. Because you know that your fucking asshole friend is going to use all his attributes that he already built up on his character, and he's going to stick you with a shitty, sticky fucking controller. And you know what button is sticky? The power button. Because you couldn't make your own buttons up yet on PlayStation. That's how far out we were. They hadn't added like the configure your controller however the fuck you want.
It's called binding.
Your power, and we developed a technique. Because normally you hold the PlayStation controller from the bottom. But you cannot do the power.
Let me demonstrate. For all you watching the PlayStation, this is how you would normally hold it. But for Tiger Woods, you gotta go.
That was the only way. That was the only way. That was the only way. Or you put it on your hand, on your leg right here, and hold it and be like. It's a very physical game, as you can see. It requires skill too. Tremendous. And I'll tell you another motherfucking thing. I believe that golf games and skateboard games and I had another example. Son of a bitch. Racing games.
Like NASCAR or like Need for Speed?
More like Need for Speed and Gran Turismo.
Okay.
You can use those motherfuckers and become better at that thing if you do it. Like racers, they can select different courses. And on Gran Turismo, you have a range of cars. All of those cars, like from a Geo Metro to a fucking Porsche Carrera, belong to a different racing class. And the courses are so fucking accurate. I've heard people like do podcasts that are into racing that know there's a bump past turn 2 before they've ever ridden on that fucking track.
Well,
because they play the video game. And I mean, even though you're not in the car or anything, you know how many revolutions you should get to that turn on before you spin out, because the game is so fucking well made.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but NASCAR switched to e-NASCAR during COVID. NASCAR switched to e-NASCAR for about 2.5 months, 3 months, where they're having, because there are these racing rigs where they're just basically supercomputers built with peripherals, and it's called iRacing. It's like a simulation racing game that there is a professional circuit in, that some of these e-racers got to now hop in with actual NASCAR racers, like, right, the top e-NASCAR racers got to hop in with NASCAR racers who couldn't do races because of COVID and pandemic and whatnot. So now there are teams who are picking up people who had never driven in an actual car and who have only ever e-raced to be their NASCAR drivers.
I never thought I'd say this about NASCAR.
That's cool as fuck.
That's pretty fucking cool.
That's cool as fuck, right?
That's pretty fucking
And
cool.
So
also
like,
risky. Also risky. Because what if some fucking nerd beats you? I feel like there's a lot of pressure on the drivers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because if this is realistic, it should be no never mind to you. But if it's realistic and the nerd beats you. Now, I have a question.
Sure.
The nerd.
Yeah.
Does the nerd get in the car and drive the car? Or does he got his little controller and his computer?
What do you mean? Like when he actually goes into real NASCAR?
Yeah, so it's a real rig, right? Like a real car.
Yeah, well, it's not a car. It's a computer where you're sitting at a desk and you have like a foot pedal, brake, and I assume.
Fuck all that. See that? Okay, back in the day when the hotel, the Sahara Hotel, before it was the SLS and now it's the Sahara again, they used to have this thing there that was a virtual NASCAR racing experience. Where you would go like there, get into a fucking car. A NASCAR car with a roll cage and shit. You get in it, and you had this huge screens in front of you that went like in a half hexagonal pattern, right? So you had the flat one in front of you, and you had this curved ones to the side. And you would get in there, and you were driving the car, and you were turning, and the car was fucking moving.
Okay, so yeah,
you were driving through the course.
I know there are like rigs, but I don't know how much of like haptic feedback they have and give off, like for like actual.
Because that's why I imagine something like amazing. Because this is 20 years ago, and it was amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, I used to fucking go there. Like, it was a fun time. Like it was to me. I've always liked anything that's like a simulation like that. Like remember the Top Skater, which you'll see in the Tony Hawk game. Remember that at the arcade?
Yes. Yeah. There's Top Skater and like Stop Snowboarder.
What's that shit?
Yeah, the ski.
You get on the thing and you have to tap it.
Those were fun games.
Lean. Those were great games, dude. So I think there's even the Top Skier was fun too.
Yeah,
where you were doing the skiing thing.
I feel like I don't
shit.
see those anymore.
You know, for whatever reason, I think home games got so good that kids didn't grow up or no longer grow up with the same excitement to go to the arcade.
I mean, I feel like I had that for sure. I didn't like it was cool, but like,
yeah. See, when Ricky and I were growing up,
that's all y'all had.
I mean, the arcade was the shit, dude. I mean, you had your video games at home and everything, but if you wanted to play some, like the participation level's higher where I have to get into the thing.
Yeah, sure.
And grab the thing, and you know, like the old punching thing that they have, where you punch the thing and it measures it, or even at the fair where you grab the fucking hammer and you hit the fucking bell, and you know what I mean? Like, I've always liked that shit where a little bit of skills combined. And I think there was certain games, at least for my generation, that combined, like you still had to move, you know, but then the experience was realistic enough to be addictive, to where we would go to GameWorks, right? When I was in high school, and be like, well, we're going to do the fucking, the horse racing game, the fucking motocross racing game. We're going to do the soccer game. There was a goal and you actually kicked the ball.
I remember the soccer game.
Goal.
The soccer game was dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then maybe we're going to do some shoesting, because you got to do some shoesting if you get to the goddamn arcade.
Well, that's a classic.
You know what I mean? And Ricky and I grew up playing basketball. So for us, it was
very
like, oh, I'm going to take you from downtown. There's another basketball game that was amazing, NBA Jam, back in the day.
That's the classic.
2-on-2. 2-on-2. He's on fire. See, that shit makes me smile just thinking about it.
Yeah,
but it's cool seeing now video games. Like I love seeing the new shit because it's so good. Like some of the games my kids have on their iPads are amazing already.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that some of that it's hard to bring the experience into the house where you have the next level. You know,
I mean, I feel like the next level is just making VR more and more affordable, so that you kind of have those immersive experiences. And
it could be that that's why we've seen a stunting in what we consider to be that, because everyone is focused on VR because VR can cover everything I described.
Yeah. But the problem with VR, at least right now, from my perspective, there's nothing that's affordable that's kid friendly. There's nothing that you're
not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. But the TV that I'm looking at you in right now. Okay.
Sure.
I'm not that old. When I bought this house, I got a 55-inch TV for Christmas at the end of the year when I made some extra money and stuff. It was $3,500.
So
that's why I still haven't thrown it out, because it still works. And I know it's heavy, and I know it's thick, and I know that the frame is too thick, and I could get a TV that's bigger that fits in the same spot. But to me, that's a badge of honor.
You got 55 inch.
There's a lot of money to fucking spend on a goddamn television. But they were so fucking cool, and it's lasted. So I mean, listen, 3,500 is lasting me 10 years. That means, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not a bad deal. What is that? $350 a year? You know, I'm good with that
because I just bought a 55-inch TV the other day.
$680.
$250, dog.
Oh, what brand is it?
I don't know. It was like Insignia, but it was on sale on Amazon, and I was like, gotcha. I need a TV.
Exactly. Well, yeah, the one that my wife wants for the living room, which is the 65-inch pan. We only buy Samsungs.
Gotcha.
But it's like $680, $650. So I mean, it's not a king's ransom. And if you go way back, like in the 70s, a TV was a thing that, I mean, it was like the equivalent to like $10,000 right now. It was not easy to buy a car. Was, let's just put it this way, in the early 70s, right? A car was, let's say, $1,700. TV was $450. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just imagine the fucking scale of shit. So I think that it'll get cheaper. It'll get more affordable, and it pushes innovation, man, because without the fucking movie experience just stagnating for so long, that wouldn't have given us a better home theater experience. And they did. And now look at COVID and everything. You never know what's going to happen. The movies should have fucking made improvements a long time ago.
Well, I mean, movie theaters are closing down. Did you see that Regal Cinemax is closing down?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Is it?
Well,
I mean, it's a bummer for it's horrible for all the people who lose their jobs.
It's too early for me to know if I'm saying that it's terrible out of nostalgia or it's like terrible.
Are you sad Blockbuster isn't around?
A little.
Is that nostalgia though, or is that the usefulness of the service? Because
it's definitely nostalgia, because Netflix is 100 million times more fucking not Netflix, but Netflix put them out of business.
Streaming services in general.
Yeah. Streaming services are way better.
Yeah,
way better. Yeah. You know, because to me it's really funny when people not acting like a human being is a source for justified outrage. One of the things I just watched a Blockbuster documentary, also very good. But they showed a commercial that Blockbuster had in like the late 90s or maybe early 2000s when Netflix was just doing the mailing DVD shit, right?
Okay.
And it was like, no more late fees. And I'm thinking, so basically you have to cater to the scumbaggery of people to earn their business back from their scumbag asses. Because with Netflix, until you send us the disc, we don't send you shit else. That's how it used to work.
Yeah.
Right? So if you want to be an asshole and keep a fucking movie for a month, while it makes you an asshole, you can't be an asshole with 15 movies, because we're only going to send you one at a time, motherfucker. You haven't delivered the other one. You have a queue that you had a list, right? And then it was going to come. But with Blockbuster, you have an agreement with that place. That place owns the tape. You're borrowing it. You said you'd bring it back in 3 days. You paid for 3 days. You forget for 2 weeks. You come back for another tape with the old one, and you get mad about the late fees? How many days did it take you to remember you had borrowed something from somebody and didn't return it? I take issue with that. And yet people acting like, man, this is bullshit. Well, you said you'd bring it back, asshole. Is that how you are with your personal possessions? Like, but yet everybody would tell you, yeah, man, fuck Blockbuster. Like, fuck that. Now, granted, honestly, if you were a dumbass if you ever paid a fee, because I had my guy. Everybody had a guy at Blockbuster. Oh, and you'd be like, of course. You'd be like, my man has to go. You doing this thing. And then it's like, yeah, man, the fucking fees, they're killing me. Is there anything you can do? And he'd knock off 30, 50% off of him, you know? He don't care.
Yeah.
And that's what you gotta do. But you know what? It forced interaction, man. You had to go to the store. You had to see if they had your tape. You had to get your popcorn. You had to get your candy. It was a thing. And then they also fucked it up. You know when they lost me? I'll tell you. I remember the day vividly.
Oh my God, please.
At some point, Blockbuster decided they would no longer carry old movies. And that's when I was like, oh no, I come here for Goodfellas once a year. And you're going to tell me you don't have Goodfellas anymore? And the guy said, no. And I said, okay, I'll take The Godfather. I knew what was coming by though. And yes, he goes like, have it either. I was like, that's it. That's it. Oh, but I'm sure you got fucking The Matrix, right? Like 19 fucking copies of Keanu doing the fucking Matrix. And you don't have Butchino.
Do you not like The Matrix?
Not more than The Godfather. No, actually, I don't give a fuck about The Matrix.
I've never seen it, so I don't have the video.
I watched half of the first movie and said, fuck this bullshit. I don't like any of that shit. Too much boom boom for no reason, the loud noises, and then that fucking imbecile is like, I am a serious actor. I am getting the knowledge downloaded to me. I can't take him. He's a moron, dude. Listen, Point Break, I dig him there. But that's only because my man Patrick Swayze was carrying him on his back like a Sherpa of action acting. Yes. But anyway, I miss Blockbuster a little bit.
You're so dumb.
Oh, that's so funny, man. But yeah, it's been fun, like watching documentaries about shit that happened while I was already like 100%
alive
on Earth.
As that person.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, like for me, I'm watching documentaries about shit that happened way before my time or whatever, you know, like, or I do a lot of murder documentaries. I know I'm not alone. I mean, America loves murder documentaries. That's why they're so famous, you know? But there's that. And I really got addicted to that Love After Lockup show. It's so fucking funny.
This is now the third week in a row you have brought this up.
Because that's all I've been watching. I am also about to start watching Dexter again. From the beginning, because they're going to
back. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I think enough time has passed.
I've never watched it.
I could go back. It's a good show. They kind of fucked up at the end a little bit, but it's a good show. I liked it. And it's about murder.
I finished Cobra Kai season 2.
Oh, tremendous,
bro!
Tremendous.
It's a great.
Did you cry? Did you cry? Did you cry at the end a little bit?
I had emotions.
I had to talk my son James off the ledge when that happened. He looked at me like, "What did you show me, you old man?"
I think that actually helped me not cry, thinking about what James' reaction was as, like, he's the shot of him falling, like it goes on so long of him going.
Yeah, man.
Brutal. And then I thought that's how the episode ended. No, you got 10 more minutes after he falls and hurts himself. Oh, the fallout. Oh, season 3.
It's tremendous.
I can't wait. Fire.
Can I tell you what I think is going to happen? I think they bring back Elizabeth Shue.
Is that the chick?
That's Allie.
Okay, of course.
And she of course got to hook up with Johnny. Why? Because Miguel's mom's out of the way. She mad. And Johnny needs somebody to comfort Johnny. Allie gonna be like, I got divorced, but I'm rich because I'm a doctor, blah, 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 blah. And guess who's gonna be jealous, but not allowed to be jealous? My man, Daniel LaRusso. He gonna be jealous, but his wife's gonna be like, what the fuck are you jealous of? He's gonna be like, nothing, I don't give a fuck. But in reality, he does give a fuck.
Do you know who I feel like needs their comeuppance in the show?
What?
Robbie. Like, I just feel like his arc is just shit. Here's a little bit of happiness, shit.
Yeah, but that's what I like about the show in general. they fucking with you, right?
Yeah.
Is Daniel good or bad? Yeah, I see it all through my son's emotions.
Oh, I'm sure.
One episode,
all over his face.
episode, he's like, "Fuck Cobra Kai, man. They're bullies, and I don't like them." And then the next episode, he's like, "Man, that Daniel guy's kind of a bitch." You know what I mean? And then on the next episode, no, he's not a bitch. He's an asshole. Now he's being the bully. No, I get it for Johnny. Yeah, I know. I'm Miguel all the way. And it's like back and forth, and it's the same between Robbie and Miguel.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, sure. I mean, it's like they get like the kid that normally would be the quarterback, you know, like all good looking and shit. Robbie, they're like, we got shit on him, but he gonna still be a good boy.
I have something to say about this dude. I have something to say about this Robbie dude. So there's other podcast I listen to, Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz. They interview this guy because Andrew Schultz is obsessed with him and thinks he's a very handsome boy. Thinks he's a very pretty boy, which is hilarious.
Are those his words or your words?
No, those are his words. Those are his words.
That was halfway.
Those are his words.
Because that makes you a fucking creep. You don't say a good-looking boy.
He's overage. Andrew looked it up. Not this Andrew, the other Andrew.
It doesn't matter. You can say that's a handsome guy.
So they asked him, so you got any...
good-looking boy? That's something an old, creepy Liberace says about a young man. He wants to bang in his rump. So that's not okay with me.
They asked this dude, do you have any secret talents? And he goes, oh, well, I play guitar. And he busts out a guitar. What song do you think Robbie from Cobra Kai plays a cover of?
I have the first guess. More Than Words by Extreme.
Oh, I wish. That would be so much better. No. He performs Creep by Radiohead. It's Carlos. Man. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Really? I gotta look it up.
Bad. It's so bad.
Because I picture him like with his hair saying I love you. It's like, of course you would sing that song. It's like, this is not Cobra Kai, bro. You're not in the beach.
He should start an extreme cover band.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, you know what? He should start an 80s rock cover band, but he lip syncs. And I bet you it'll work. And then people would be like, what? Robbie wasn't singing? No, Robbie was not singing.
But yeah, that show is extremely
well,
good.
You know whose music I heard too? Vin Diesel. Oh my word.
Vin Diesel has music?
Oh, he released it on Instagram. First of all, dude, you should see how this guy talks to Instagram. He thinks he's The Rock.
Of course. He's Vin Diesel. What do you mean? He is The Rock.
And it's like he's in the middle of a monologue of a Fast and the Furious every second in his life. You know, everything is done like, I live with my life 6 seconds at a time. How are you guys out there? The whole time he talks like he's reading, like he's auditioning for his audience, dude. Like he's like, I can still do it anytime I want. It's crazy, bro. But his music, terrible.
What type of music is it? Wait, can I guess? I hope it's swing jazz.
Oh, I wish. Because he's Italian. At least that would have some dignity. No, this is like dance music, modern, dancey, poppy.
Does he sing?
Hip-hoppy. He kind of sings and raps a little bit. I don't think I could call it singing. You gotta look at it.
So he makes noises.
He does.
He makes a lot of noises into a microphone.
But you know the loudest noise? You know the loudest noise that he made to this listener? That you got no friends. You have no one that cares about you, clearly. They're all on the payroll. Because not one person was like, you should not release this.
Right.
You remember the movie Jack and Jill?
Yeah.
At the end when Al Pacino goes, you should destroy this footage. No one should ever see this. And Adam Sandler's like, you're so funny. But Butchino does not break character the entire time. That's what he needs, a motherfucking Butchino to be like, okay, man, now you had your fun. Now we're going to take this iPhone you recorded this on, and we're going to smash it together. Because you cannot possibly take this serious. You cannot think this is serious, Vin. Is this as serious as you doing a squad, Vin? Be honest. Be honest. The answer is no. But it was hey, man, listen.
Whatever makes you happy. No.
Yes, but If sucking makes you happy, you should. Something's wrong. Something's wrong, dude. If I started dancing right now and dancing made me happy and I was taking dancing seriously and you saw me dance, something would be wrong. Because I'm not good at dancing. I never have.
But maybe one day you could be.
I don't think I could.
But maybe you
I
could.
don't know. I'm fairly sure that you could give me another 140 years on Earth and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but
it's just not.
Could.
I mean,
maybe you could.
It's a problem with technology. Anybody can do anything. But I mean, I guess they are artists. You're not going to be good at all art, right? Vin can give you lines and drive a car and drift it. Tokyo drift it. That's his art.
Is that him doing it or is that a stunt?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is he just good at being bald and looking kind of like an action figure?
Listen, they gave him one movie and he was like, I'm going to turn this into 9 movies. And he did. And you got to give it up. You know? So
people love those movies.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, if you don't give me silly, give me good. That's the two things I accept in a movie. Really, really silly or really fucking good. I can't do science fiction and I can't do fucking. If the plot makes no sense, you're not going to win me over with police chases and gunshots, man. You know, like I'll shoot it. You have no idea how many fucking movies I turn off because I'm like, okay, it's been a half hour of tires squealing and gunshots. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah. My kids can make that kind of noise. I mean, if I need noise that's nonsense, I just fucking ask Michael to bang on some fucking pots and pans, man. Like, I can't do it. I cannot permit it. Like,
and he will bang on those pots and pans so well, so hard.
He will.
So much noise.
But see, that's where the rom-com comes in for me. Because if the guy's trying to be like romantic and like a fucking leading man, but isn't, it's hilarious. And there's a lot of those guys. And then there's the other guys that are good at doing it and are funny. And there's some funny shit in the movie, which I like. And the bar, the expectation, it's always met. It's always met. I don't get disappointed. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't, because I'm not expecting anything good. And then if I watch a different type of movie, then I expect it to be good, a good story, you know? Or there's certain people that I'll just watch whatever they do just because I know, like, I like what they do. So I'll fucking watch it, you know? But yeah, the explosions and the fucking, what's the other guy? The British dude does a lot of fucking Jason Statham shit. Haven't seen a single one of his fucking movies. Anybody who is an action star is not a star to me, basically.
I agree with that, yes.
I don't watch them. Yeah. Your product is not for me. Mm-hmm. Your product was for me like a child. To me, those are kids like from 8 to 18. That's when you're supposed to like that kind of shit. You know? That's it. It's like 80s rock. 80s rock should catch your eye. You know, like glam rock, like Poison and fucking Quiet Rider. That shit should catch your eye from age 5 to age 18, right? By then, it has a place in your heart, like Sesame Street. But you're not like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'd ride or die for Elmo when you're 20 in college, right? Now, that doesn't mean there was something wrong with you being into Sesame Street at the age appropriate time. Yeah. It just means, well, goddamn it, you should know the goddamn difference between Pearl Jam and Poison. Like, you know, one guy's talking about.
But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Which lead singer had a very popular MTV dating show? Poison.
That was not an MTV, motherfucker. There's a wrong
VH1.
question. VH1.
Same channel, same shit, whatever. You got me. Oh. Well, that's like going Lifetime TLC. Same shit.
Well, it is similar.
It is.
It's similar.
It's MTV, VH1, similar.
No, but all the but see, that's where you're wrong. It's not similar because MTV has only produced one truly good trash show ever. Teen Mom.
False. Catfish.
They didn't produce it. the guy had already made the documentary, and then they made the show. That was not their fucking idea. That was not an MTV product that was conceived at MTV.
The challenge. That is an evolution.
All those people want to be famous, though. They're all of them want to be famous whores, and they're fake tan. That with MTV we're talking. Let me hit you with VH1, The Surreal Life, Celebrity Rehab, the Tom Sizemore Show, the Danny Bonaducci Show. We got motherfucking Rock of Love, which was the George Michael, the Bret Michaels.
George Michael.
Then we have the Flavor Flav Show.
Flavor of Love.
Then Flavor of Love. Then New York.
I love New York.
And New York had two brothers that were in her thing, Chance and Real. Then they had a real chance at love.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and then Real, rest in peace. He died from the brain cancers. And now Chance is about to get another show on VH1. He had another chance at love. So VH1, they were pioneers in some other shit. Celebrity Rehab was such a good show. I don't know if you ever saw it. That was a good show. Oh, dude. And then the very first one was Surreal Life. And I remember that one because Vince Neil was on it. It was Vince Neil.
I don't know what Surreal Life is.
MC Hammer. Fucking, I think Vanilla Ice. There was like some like fading stars that was one of the first like that celebrity type of reality show for VH1. God damn, it was so funny, dude. It was tremendous cast. The casting, just all good, and just getting people drunk and getting them to embarrass themselves. You know,
it's a great recipe for reality television.
Oh man, I just realized that would be my dream job.
Being a reality television producer?
Casting, yeah.
Oh, casting.
Also the person that interviews people.
Like in the confessionals?
Doing the reunion, doing the reunion shows.
Oh. Yeah, that's a great gig. That's a great gig.
Yeah. It's such a good one, dude.
I feel like, okay, here's the thing, like, right, if we find like a specific show that's a little bit under the radar, like a challenge or something, and we get really specific into it, maybe make like a little spin-off show, I feel like it'd be easy to reach out to some of these losers and interview them and get them on the show.
Probably. I mean, I don't think they're high profile.
I don't think so either. So that's close.
That's a good idea.
That's close.
That's a good idea because expanding on our idea about watching, doing like.
Because let me ask you a question.
Movie companions.
Yeah.
I think what we should do is we should go 1 for 1.
Like you pick one, I pick one?
Yes.
This is a great idea. This is a great idea.
Because otherwise it's going to make it hard to agree on a balance.
Yeah.
And I think we should be trying to convert each other.
Yeah.
Like Floston. You came back the next episode and you were Floston. All over your club. And speaking of that, Borat's coming back too.
Yeah.
You saw that shit, right?
I did, of course. No, that is a great idea. That is a great idea.
And we could do that with TV shows and shit too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then just go like back and forth because then we could break him down from like the different perspectives and shit. Yeah. So that'd be cool. But yeah, man.
Like, right. Is there like a Love After Lockup podcast that's out there?
Not that I know of. Yeah.
That's an easy niche. Slide right in.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that I think it's I've always thought that's a good idea because so I used to think that nobody watched the shows.
We could do a Cobra Kai shit podcast.
Oh yeah. We can break it down. We can break them all down, dude.
This is fantastic.
We can break them all down. So back in the day, the way that do you remember? So one of my very good friends moved to Wisconsin about 2 years ago. No, last year, I think, almost 2 years ago. His name is Tony. And Tony, the way that I got to be friends with Tony, like over 10 years ago, Tony was my Muay Thai coach at noon at a place called Master Toddy's here in Vegas. And so one day we were bullshitting in Muay Thai class and somehow Teen Mom came up. And me and him bonded over Teen Mom for the next 45 minutes. I never expected that in the middle of a fucking Muay Thai class with another goddamn meathead in a sweaty ass Thai gym, we're going to be like, you're Teen Mom? Bro, Teen Mom. This is over 10 years ago. Yeah. And so then from then on, you realize that everybody almost that I know has at least one of those type of shows.
Oh, yes.
They stumbled upon it. The difference with me is that once I stumble upon something, I'm like, I need more. And then I'm looking for it. And I think that I'm a little more shameless in my search for the shows, where other people may watch them, but they don't want the world just know that they watch them. Or I don't give a fuck. I celebrate you if you watch that kind of garbage.
It's fun. It's a fun bonding thing with people.
Well, I break it down to two very simple things. Either this person is a better actor than professional actors, or they're 100% real and have zero dignity and shame. Because you would have to have no embarrassment gene on you to allow them to see you in some kind of light, let alone multiple fucking seasons. You know what I mean? Some of these people's behavior, I mean, some of them
shameless.
Horrible human beings. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, fuck, the Kardashians are a perfect example of that to me. Like, I give it up for their entrepreneurial skills and everything, but I don't understand what the allure is to watching a bunch of fake people. That's where, like, they're supposed to be inspired or inspiring. I'm not inspired by fucking Penguin from 90 Day Fiance. I'm intrigued. You know what I mean? Like, my questions are more like, how'd you make it to this age, Penguin? You
got your arms crossed and folded. You're like,
Penguin, right? I knew it. Never mind, we're at the restaurant. Man, I'm gonna sit right here. And then the question starts coming. You know what I mean? Like, that's some funny shit, dude. But I do think that there's no one doing that, and no one celebrates it. There used to be a show that covered the shows, which was The Soup and Talk Soup and all that. But because there are networks, they have to pick and choose. Yeah. They can't just go across the platforms for quality, my man. You know? And I say, we can start compiling some lists to mix it up between movies, TV shows. Now, we could also do some quality TV shows. That doesn't have to be all garbage. But that's why if we pick one and one, like, obviously some of them are meant to, like, make fun of and shit. But there's some good shit out there too, like the documentaries that we're talking about. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of that kind of stuff sometimes, it's easy to think that you're the only one that found him interesting. And I used to think that because I've always been into documentaries because I always feel like it's accidental learning. Sure. You know what I mean? Totally. But I've seen some shit that I'm like, well, no, clearly this is an art form that I enjoy. And the way I know I enjoy it is because some of it I have zero interest in. And I'm like fascinated by the fucking documentary. And it's something that's completely out of my realm, you know? I mean, and if you don't find like human struggle and overcoming and enduring rather than overcoming, right? The enduring of human struggle to me is fascinating. There's a couple documentaries on Amazon with guys that do mountain biking. Crazy. And have had spinal.
Oh, no thanks. I don't want to watch that.
Dude. But you watch them and you're like, it's fucking unbelievable, man.
Sure.
You know, and that's a big part of the reason that I'm not into conventional sports is that you will never be able to convince me. If we find like a race, right? Like one of those crazy downhill races that they do on mountain bikes with the jumps and they start at the top of a cliff. And you found one of those that is like one of the champion runs, right? There is no football game or basketball game or baseball game or soccer game that is ever gonna, to me, intrigue me, excite me, and scare me and amaze me the way that kind of sport does. Somebody doing a big wave to me is 1,000 times more impressive than anyone winning a Super Bowl with 2 seconds left throwing a 50-yard fucking pass. I do have an appreciation for it, but it's not impressive. Wow. Like, I'm not amazed by that. When I see the guy fucking doing a big wave, to me, that's like if I saw a real Spider-Man in real life. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's and that doesn't happen to me with baseball or with anything else. So it's not like I don't respect them. They're fucking amazing at what they do. You know what I mean? It's just that my entertainment bar for amazement is more on that realm of like such few people. Like, I always think I can imagine how the guy throws a pass, right? Because he's thrown that pass 1,000 times. Now, for the other guy on the bicycle to do that, he had to do that run too. Except that the margin of error for that guy, how did he get that many reps to get that good? I get how the football guy does it because he can be in a wide open field with people pretending like it's a game, right? Because that's what practice is. We're talking about practice. That's what practice is. And so I get it. Like, you're amazing. Like fucking, I get that. But just the process of getting to the end result in what are people consider an extreme sport, including fighting, to me, that process, and it's so much more high to risk reward ratio that it blows away all the other sports for my entertainment value, and for admiration too. I admire a guy like Tony Hawk, dude. Like, I keep going back to that documentary, and I also watched the Bones Brigade documentary that came out like 2 years ago. It's an Amazon.
Longer ago.
Very, very
longer ago. I feel like that's been out for like a couple years now. I feel like 4.
Yeah, it's a couple of years, like 2018, I think. But it's very fucking good. I like watching. They go through all the Caballero shit, all the Lance Mountain shit. Christian Hosoi has a documentary. It's called Houses of the Rising Sun. It's on YouTube. Very good documentary. He goes through his fucking struggle, the jail, and all that stuff. So I dig that shit in terms of watching him go through a process that I could not even understand. Because when I was growing up, like, now you have video for everything. When I was growing up, we didn't know how Tony Hawk got to look like he did in the cover of the magazine. When we saw the cover of the magazine, which was the only image we had, he was flying above a half pipe 15 feet. We didn't see the setup. What his feet look like? How does he even launch off the ramp? To us, all of that had like an imagination. Where with the other sports, well, it's not hard to figure out how somebody hits a fucking baseball. You go out with your friends, one guy grabs a broomstick, other guy grabs a fucking tennis ball, and now you have an idea how baseball works. Doesn't mean you're playing baseball, doesn't mean you know strategy, doesn't mean you know a proper practice, but it's a lot easier to relate to kicking a ball outside the house, and now you know how soccer works, than seeing a guy do a fucking big wave, or seeing a fucking a guy on a wingsuit. That shit fucking, like, the wingsuit shit. Dude, I can't stop watching it. I cannot stop watching it. Like, I watch it, and then I'm like, oh, I saw another one about base jumpers. Oh my God, dude. What the fuck? And then the climbing ones. You've seen the solo climbing ones, right? Watching that. Oh, God damn. Some of them I can only watch one time.
That shit gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
Oh, my word. There's one where this fucking guys actually set up, which I didn't know they did this, but they're like climbing this fucking part of El Capitan that looks just like a fucking straight up face. They have this little rope thingies where their fucking cot hangs. So they spend the night suspended on the side of the mountain that they're climbing because they're trying to figure out the route. Dude, they go with ropes to try to figure out the best route to do it without ropes. Because when you do it without ropes, you got to do it all in one day, right? Because you got to get all the way up. And you can't go back down, right? So they map out the route by doing it with ropes, which means they're up there sometimes for like a week.
Fuck.
And then the wind starts.
Where do they shit?
Dude, they're cooking in this little cot.
You didn't answer my question. Where do they shit?
I'm pretty sure they just shit down because they didn't really cover that in the documentary. But I
feel like they shit in bags and they carry it with them.
A lot of those guys they would be the type of people to do that. Yeah. Now, the only time I've seen that before was in the movie Wild Hogs. Where the one guy's like, I got my poop.
Disgusting.
That's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
Ride, man.
I just want to ride. That's a good movie. That's a stupid movie. That movie's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb. So anyway, one of our viewers took me aside and he called me out.
Yeah.
He said, how does one do Sober October whilst drinking? I said, listen up, pal. We're a week ahead on the podcast.
Okay.
That was the podcast before we started. They'll come at me, bro. They'll come at me. I'm killing Sober October. And how dare you? So that's what I said to this listener. I feel like, very polite.
Let me look at the date. Oh, so not next. So in 2 weeks, not next Sunday, but the Sunday after, we will be recording on November 1st.
Oh, no, remember November.
So what we're saying is it will be the return of the fun beer to share on the podcast.
For sure. I mean, Yeah. 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 No remember November. No remember
November.
No remember November. No, I mean, I like doing it in October anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss. I'm just like a creature of habit. Yeah. I'm facing a personal conundrum because this is the first year that they're not going to do the rock and roll marathon here on the strip in Las Vegas. They usually do the whole thing at night, shut off all the, you run down the strip. It's pretty cool. And I've done it, like 10 years. And so this year they're not going to do it. And I've done a half marathon a year every single year for the last 10 years or so. And it's kind of a bummer that's not happening. So I'm seriously considering doing my own at the Pittman Wash. Just
I was about to say that. Yeah, I was about to say, like, just fucking do it.
I think I might do that. And there's a couple of virtual ones too. I haven't really looked much into how they work, but maybe I'll do that just to be part of an organized.
Yeah. So my understanding with the virtual organization is that it's just, it's usually a weekend. Is usually, or like a day. You have this time period to finish in, then you submit your time, and then
gotcha. Yeah, I may do that. I may do that because I'm a little bit bummed about that. Yeah. But it's looking like we're gonna be on the other side of it. I think at this point we're not gonna see any progress till after the election because no one's in danger by them withholding information, and they're never going to let an opportunity.
Trump has been saved from it. Chris Christie has been saved from it. People in Kamala Harris's campaign have tested positive for it. People in Biden's campaign have tested positive for it. It's everywhere.
Yeah. So, I just think, I do think that like people are taking their immunity more serious. I think everyone's taking their cleanliness more serious. Yeah. And I think it forced, whether we like it or not, even if you're eating frozen fucking dinners, that's still more effort than going to fucking fast food or going to a restaurant. You still have to put in the microwave or the oven or whatever people do. So I think there's definitely some good parallels that are coming out of this whole thing. I just had my son had his report grade. I had a parent teacher conference on Wednesday.
How was that?
He's killing it. He's like, he got straight A's on everything. Like fucking reading, math, comprehension, and everything. He's above his class. He's above the national percentile. It was great, but he also had perfect attendance, and he's turned every single one of his assignments. So I don't think my kids are special. We just on top of it. We're just consistent. We just make him turn everything in, and we take it serious, and we wake up on time, and we'll wake up and his parents are smiling, and he has breakfast, and he's not rushed, and he's already showered and clean when he sits down to do his schoolwork, and he's got an isolated place where he can do his schoolwork without being disturbed. And it's like all those little processes of effort that sometimes people shun them out just because they're not doing it. Instead of, there's a commercial for this fucking medication. It's like for cholesterol control. Okay. And it's such a cute fucking commercial because this is how I feel about a lot of things, right? So in this commercial, obviously it's the length of a commercial. It's not very long, but it shows a guy waking up early in the morning and putting on running shoes. And then it shows a green smoothie. And then it shows like a super balanced plate of food, right? And then the commercial's like, we know you're doing everything you can. I have literally never met one fucking person that deals with cholesterol or diabetes or anything like that was doing everything in their power. And then the pill is what helped. No, these pills are made for these people to be lazy as fuck, marginally compliant with their diets and shit, and survive. But yet the commercial's like, it's almost like if you showed a fucking plastic surgery commercial that showed a girl that got on a diet.
I'm confused though. I'm confused. Why, isn't that the whole point of a commercial?
No, the whole point of the commercial is to placate the people taking the pill, the people that want the pill,
and persuade them, right?
But to placate their lack of effort and include them into an effort they don't belong into as a way to sell them the pill.
That's the key, right? To sell them it. So it feels
I mean, I just think, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is like the same thing is what happens with the remote schooling, is that the parents want to be placated and they want to have everything taken care of. And it's like, yes.
I think there's part of that, but also there's a big percentage of students who are living in a situation economically where it's just not viable.
Yeah, and I'm not saying across the board. I was
Yeah.
referring basically to my son's school and my son's classroom,
Gotcha.
which is not really falling into that demographic
Gotcha.
much,
Yeah.
and everybody has struggles. My family's been dealing
Definitely.
with some
Yeah,
shit.
unquestionably.
So the reality of it is that as much as I don't expect anybody to be hyper vigilant in their discipline, you no longer get away with zero discipline. And I think parents were getting away with zero discipline. And they were dumping their children at school and they were expecting the school to do miracle work with the kids. And
Yeah,
now all of
yeah.
a sudden, where you don't even have to drive them to school, you can't even open the Chromebook consistently in front of your kid on time. Like it seems like people's own actions are catching their own reaction quickly. And I appreciate that because I think that's how change gets enacted. Sometimes you can't get called out by anyone or anything except but the situation that you created. And then you pivot, because some people are never going to stop smoking cigarettes till somebody close to them or themselves get cancer, or you know what I mean? And then they pivot. But they knew that information all along. It just takes sometimes something like that for them to spring into action, so to speak, And I think because one of the things that they had happened before this parent teacher conference about 3 weeks ago, they were like, oh, we're going to change the schedule to give people a chance to catch up. Now, to me, that's already like ding, 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 ding. So I'm like, okay, well, I understand that everyone deals with things differently and some people lag behind. How much time? Because don't tell me we're going to give you time to catch up without telling me how much time. Because if some of us are caught up, I want a deadline for the people that need to catch up. Or are we downgrading everything to the speed that the fucking people that can't catch up are going? Because if that's the case, I want to know how are we evaluating that has merit? At what point are they caught up? Or if it's for the teachers, at what point are you caught up? Because you're not even dealing with them in person.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm unreasonable to the response to that. I'm saying that I'm the person that's always going to ask those questions.
Yeah.
So now they're going to split them up into groups. And I said, well, now that you're telling me, and I know the attendance, and I know his grades, and I know that whatever his strengths maybe or whatever, how are you breaking up the groups? Because the last thing I want is kids that are not doing well in my son's group. My son's not there to lift anybody else up. He's there to learn fairly, and that's what he's doing. Yeah. But he loses interest when his kid's not paying attention or not following the rules or not raising the hand to answer.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm not going to discourage that because that's a thing that he's right. And so if you're looking at the grades and you're looking at the groups, I just want to know what are the criteria that you're following to group these things together, Yeah. And she goes, well, actually, and I don't know how true this is, but it works to my benefit and my son's benefit. So I don't care. She's like, well, actually, I was already going to talk to you guys about moving him from the group that I put him in. That's only going to be his first week. And then he's going to go to this other group. And that's because they have like an advanced, whatever. I forget what it's called, but it's the smarter ones in math and reading go to another advanced thing. Sure. And so which is like, I'm okay. And I would never demand for him to get put in that if that wasn't his grades and if he wasn't in the right attendance or anything, but I do think this is a very peculiar, fortunate byproduct of them going to school like this is that I have access to his teacher a lot more often than I would in school, which is ironic, but it is because they have to make sure that the kids are engaged and all that. Yeah. So it was good. I'm going to take him golfing next Friday.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be his prize. And I'm going to get them a jiu-jitsu dummy to put a gi on so they can practice because they're small. And sometimes they're doing shit properly, but they hurt each other accidentally. Some of the shit's painful.
They don't necessarily know what they're doing yet.
Yeah. So that was another cool part of the week. And it was cool, man. I mean, I'm glad he's doing good. I'm glad he's doing, especially with the whole thing with Michael and everything. Yeah. Like, it's nice to see that this is not really affecting him that way, so that, and I gave the teacher props. So I was like, and I just want to thank you. I know this is a beast on you guys and it's been difficult and you're dealing with difficult people and, all of us are difficult in a different way. It's just like, no, honestly, it's just participation is the biggest thing. And I appreciate you guys being on top of it. And, and that's, but all of that has to do with it. It's like, when she interacts with my son, she gets an idea of where my son's demeanor is coming from.
Sure, totally.
When you interact with a kid that's dismissing what you say, well, why is that kid dismissive in an adult already?
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, one of the things they did away with was the warm-up little dances that they do in the morning. And I understand it, because if you're a short-sighted person, you don't give any credence to how important those things are, right? Which is fine that you don't give it any credence because you're not a teacher.
Yeah.
But if you were a teacher, you would know that there's a lot of research that says that it's a good way to engage with them first thing in the morning, right? But if you're not used to that and you just walk by, right, and you see him doing the dance or whatever, you're like, what the fuck? This is school?
Yeah.
This is school now? Fuck this. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, but, and that's okay. This is the part I like. That's okay. That's your right. I disagree with that. I think that he needs to learn to follow directions and question why much later in life.
Sure.
Maybe some of that was worthless, but not all of it is, because they tell him to breathe. You ever breathe, sir or ma'am? Oh, you don't think about breathing. You're a mouth breather. I can tell. But again, I'm not trying to get into anybody's business either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want people's business being brought into my business.
Right.
So, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, at least people aren't dying. Cases are stable. You know, they seem to be getting it together. Fauci says that the herd immunity is bullshit. I'm too dumb to know different. I heard another guy say that pandemics always last through the history of time, at least 18 months. I don't know how true that is, because I'm a dumb person that is not educated in anything scientific like that.
It's so tiring trying to just at this point to try to decipher, because like, I don't know, man. I feel like I try my best to decipher and I struggle with it. Like, I feel like I'm actively trying to look at information in a critical way, and I can't fucking make heads or tail. I know people are dying. I know we're in a pandemic. I wear my mask. I hope it goes away. I wash my hands. I don't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. I don't speak to no one. But
this is a good representation of how we're hypocritical sometimes. It's like people out there act like they're on the righteous side of things so assertively that it's funny, and some of them go, well, I don't listen, you know, maybe I don't listen because I don't trust them or whatever. But you know what? They don't know how their car works either, and they use it. They don't know how Wi-Fi works, and that doesn't keep it from using it. They don't know how their phone works, but they use that. Hey, the same chicken head moms that claim they can't put their kid in front of the fucking computer are in front of their fucking phone.
Definitely, yeah.
Put down the fucking phone and be a mother. God damn it. I don't give a shit if you can be a mom and be on the phone at the same time, or if later on you go, you know what, motherfuckers? I did everything. I'm going to do my phone thing now. Whatever, dude. Yeah. If that's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not criticizing that. I'm on my phone all the time too. Yeah. I'm not criticizing that. What I am saying is, don't tell me that you're technology inept when you have a piece of technology that you figure out how to take the wrinkles out of your face when you post your fake ass fucking pictures on. That you figured out. But you can't figure out this thing.
I love this person that you're talking to.
So there's so many. You have no idea. No idea.
None.
How many men from people. All of the different races I have heard and listened to complaints from that they go, dude, she's not working right now. And just the kids trying to figure it out. And of course, the kid's only going to try to figure out shit that an adult should be helping him with for so long before they lose interest. And also, if you're not helping him, what does that say about your demeanor towards what he's doing? Is it important or not? You're saying with the way
message.
Yes, your effort output is telling that person that this is not important. Yeah. Let's say that the Chromebook was on fire. Would you react this way too? No, you wouldn't, right? You're fucking
right.
Guess what? The world's on fire, and the fire is stupidity. But you are not fucking concerned. You know? And it's whatever, dude. It's okay with me. We need all kinds of people in the world. And from a selfish standpoint of view, the less educated people are, the less competition my sons are going to have in life.
I mean, there's no shortage of dumb people in the world.
No. But there's no shortage of labor jobs in the world either. And if we want to make America great, like our great president wants us to. We need to manufacture here. And guess what? You don't need to do in manufacturing. Be smart.
Robots are going to take over
gotta
anyways.
show up. You just got
until the robots take over.
If they're cheap enough, if they're cheaper than humans, and throughout history, human labors remain cheap when we wanted to.
Because of slavery.
Nope. I argue that at some points it was because of slavery. I think now it's because of lack of education and idiocy, which in the age of technology starts becoming a personal choice. It's not a full personal choice. Not a full personal choice.
I wonder what the percentage of laborers are undocumented in this country.
I got to say at least 50%.
Because then if they're an undocumented laborer, right, then they probably don't have the choice.
No, they did. They came here. That was their choice.
Oh, I guess, yeah. I mean, that's their choice.
Yeah, I mean, and I also think that hopefully I would like to see an end through the 70s and the 80s. They shamed this country out of labor jobs. And I think that I admire somebody who's a good mason. That's not easy to do. Make a level wall with bricks and mortar. Yeah. By the way, go to Rome and tell me masonry is bullshit. Go to fucking Greece.
Like, that's just like a completely different thing. Cause like, right. We don't have heart.
No, but there's not an appreciation for it is what I'm saying. For carpentry.
Yeah, not at all. Because
you know what I'm saying? Like,
but isn't that due to the technical advancement to have made it so much easier and cheaper?
No, because the quality is not the same. Both can coexist.
Sure, but right, if technology makes it easier and cheaper, right, doesn't it make sense that over time the level of artistically, or like the artistic aspect of it and the level of effort is going to come down just because it's so much easier to not make it that way? Mass produce it?
Well, I mean, if they were matching the quality of hand craftsmanship, yes, but that's not the case. Shit's gotten cheaper and shittier.
Sure, unquestionably, but it's
like
there's like a cutoff, right? Though, but like there's like a cutoff of like, well, it's cheaper and it's good enough and it'll last long enough, and it's just we can replace it over time, and it's cheap enough that like whatever.
To some degree, yeah. Sure. But there's also people out there that we want to have a good pair of sunglasses. We understand both good sunglasses and gas station sunglasses for $5 can exist.
Sure.
Both of them can. Yeah. But they won't if somebody's not making sunglasses that are quality.
Right.
And if we shame anybody that makes a sunglass of quality, like, well, you're a fucking idiot. I can get 5 at the grocery store. Well, yeah, you can, but you're not comparing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm talking about, the shame of whatever. It's like, yeah, I get it. You can get a concrete wall made for a big warehouse building, get delivered, right? I know. But if I was going to make a church and I had fucking Roman Catholic church type money, why not make it beautiful? Like the churches that people are proud of that have stood 500 years. You can commission a fresco to be painted. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do that.
Just right. And this is your specific example.
You just have to choose it.
Yeah.
You just have to. There's rich guys that buy a hand-stitched interior Ferrari because they have an appreciation for that. And there's rich guys that just go and lease whatever new BMW is out, and then they get new in 2 years because they don't give a fuck. Yeah. I think, and then there's rich guys like a Larry David type that just buys a Prius because it's reliable. He can afford to pay for it cash. He doesn't give a fuck about cars, and he's eco-friendly, and they sold him on that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, like all of those can coexist, but I think that a big part of curbing immigration and curbing our dependence on current labor starts with the education system here, not shaming somebody and saying, well, these are the careers for stupid people, because that's not true. Being the best at anything. And that's kind of what happened in the 70s. There's no bricklayers in college. And if you don't go to college, you're a piece of shit. Well, no, that's not true. There's welding people, there's fucking masons, there's fucking plumbers, there's tradesmen of all kinds of different areas. Listen, I know this is stupid, but somebody that can fix a stucco patch on a house and do it well, that's a rare guy to know. because it's not easy to do. A guy that can do a drywall patch properly and match the texture, and you don't ever know that it was there, not an easy thing to do. Not a college thing.
Yeah.
A guy that can fix it, so there's a lot of those that I think we're getting back to that a little bit more, but definitely in my generation, you would be ashamed to tell your friends out loud you wanted to be a mechanic.
Yeah. See, I feel like that definitely is a generational thing because I feel like when I was in high school and now some of us in college and looking into going into teaching at high schools, there is a push for technical colleges and vocational schools and apprenticeships because it's very clear that the university system is A, not for everyone, B, not affordable for everyone, and C, just maybe not even worth it.
A bit of a honey dicking on some things, not on everything.
Sure, exactly. Yeah.
Listen, I don't want you to become a psychologist at the fucking shopping market.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's, but I just think we have to create, I want my sons to look at the possibility of being the best mason as exactly the same as being the best lawyer.
Sure.
I want him to think that being the top home contractor on the fucking on the Las Vegas area is the same as being the top cardiologist. Because that top cardiologist, when he has a leak in his fucking multi-million-dollar roof, he gets fucking ripped off by 4 or 5 guys because he doesn't know how to shop for a fucking contractor.
Sure.
Because he's a cardiologist.
Yeah.
Now, if you need a fucking referral to a knee guy, he has it.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
but we've disconnected all those worlds to a degree that it was like, it's almost like you shouldn't have anything to do with each other. That's one of the things I love about martial arts. And I love about our gym. I'm in there with people that work in trades, people that work in technology, people that work in entertainment, people that work in executives. You know what I mean? And no one is a lawyer or a doctor on the mat. And that's what I like that aspect of it to expand a little bit, because we're also seeing that molding your whole life to suit a career with the expectation that's going to make you happy and is going to remove the risk, that's gone. Look what happened this year. Yeah. That's gone.
Yeah, definitely.
It's fucking, I love to cook. I'm fans of restaurant owners here in town and chefs here. They're fucked right now.
Yeah, a lot of them are, unquestionably.
And how I know the handmade craftsmanship can exist with the machined or whatever is because a handmade burger and a McDonald's burger are not comparable, but they both have a market.
Yeah.
I need a place to eat too. I haven't eaten McDonald's in over 20 years. I'm not the only one. Doesn't mean I'm the majority, but you don't know how many majorities there are. And diseases can come.
Wait, time out.
How many? No, I'm saying on different things.
There's only one majority of anything.
There's what?
There's only ever one majority of anything, though.
No, I mean, I'm not. I know I'm not the majority. I know I'm the minority.
Yeah.
But minorities can equal to a majority in other aspects.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
They can, because there's also a guy that's into baseball, right? And that guy knows what glove to buy. And if you were to tell that guy, do you want one of these fucking mass-produced gloves by a machine, or Ricky the leather guy over there, he's got a 3-month wait. And it's going to cost you a third more, but feel this fucking glove. There's a lot of that people underestimate, because we went away from the quality. And we went away from the quality because our mass-produced stuff was made by other Americans. And I'm sorry, we do have a different standard for quality. We co-opted it for cost. And it was good for many of us in many things. The majority of Americans can afford many things that they could not afford 20 years ago. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a place for the higher quality, the handmade thing, the thing that somebody learned to do since they were young, the thing that was passed down from one guy to the other. Being a fucking butcher. Just being a fucking butcher. Knowing what the fuck parts. Do you know that if you don't cut a tri-tip properly after you make it, if you don't cut it against the grain, it's tough. Right. If you cut it with a grain, it tastes, there's things like that you're not going to learn anywhere else. You're only going to learn them through the trades. And it's cool, I think, to see young people get some sort of interest in that if they're no longer concerned that unless they're a lawyer, they're not going to make any money. You know, I mean, you should definitely have a concern, but what you need is a motivation.
Right.
You need to be motivated to do better. But no amount of putting effort towards something is a waste.
That's true.
And there are some people that are under that misguided notion, you know, because by the way, sometimes while you're doing something that everybody thinks is a waste, you may stumble upon another thing and develop the process of following through the thing that people thought it was a waste. But it's a pivot into, okay, well, I got obsessed with fucking this video game. And then all of a sudden somebody shows you whatever. And you're like, well, I did it with a game. I'm going to do it with this. Next thing you know, that fucking person, I don't know if you saw, there's a 12-year-old girl or 14-year-old girl that just made a huge breakthrough in the coronavirus. Google it later, but she won an award that she's been working on a project for like 2 years. And it was to, very broadly, you'll read it later, I'm sure, but it was to isolate certain compounds in respiratory diseases.
Gotcha. Okay.
At the time it was for SARS because her grandfather or her uncle had died of it or something.
Yeah.
Well, when the corona happened, she pivoted to it. And it's supposed to be a huge breakthrough in how to be able to isolate some of the specific characteristics of the virus or something like that. But I'm just saying, those people exist. They're in this country. We're a fucking smart country. And I do believe the conspiracy is to dumb it down. But it's kind of like the algorithm at Facebook. Yes, it's giving you outrage, but only if you're looking for it. You know that Ari Shafir thing where he only YouTube puppies? All that fucking YouTube would suggest was puppies. So it's not nefarious. No, you know, it's exploiting our lack of discipline and self-control. And guess what? It should be exploited because you know what else exploits your lack of discipline and self-control? Cocaine, sugar,
literally everything,
alcohol.
Fun.
Yeah.
Literally everything fun.
Yeah. You know? So, but we shall see. I hope they can start easing up on some of the restrictions and everybody can just utilize common sense and cleanliness and a lot of the habits that they've learned through this. And I hope you can bowl with people again. I think you guys are probably fine.
I mean, we're bowling already.
No, but I mean like bowling in the same pair of lanes. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like again. Now, do I think that the pool leagues should resume at the smoke-infested, bad ventilated den holes that they play pool at? Maybe not. Maybe we hold off on the darts league. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the slot tournament's not a priority yet. Yeah. But maybe people can start fucking doing the shit that they do. There's been a murder on the goddamn strip almost every night. I mean, the murder has been insane. The violence, dude. Yeah. Shootings, stabbings, fucking like gun violence.
They're on these streets.
It's insanity.
The guns are on these streets.
And you rattled my fucking cage with that 25th Amendment shit.
Did I?
Nothing's ever made more sense in my life now.
Should we talk about that? I feel like we didn't actually talk about that.
I've been telling everybody that will listen to me whatever little I understood of what you said.
Okay. So let's break this down.
I believe it. Because somebody goes, I told it to a Trump guy. And he's like, well, they're not going to be able to get rid of him like that. And I was like, it's not for Trump, dumbass.
Yeah. Okay, so let's explain, right? Let's explain. I want to say now about 2 weeks ago, Nancy Pelosi had a press conference talking about the creation of a commission in relation to the 25th Amendment. The 25th Amendment deals with what happens.
Preach.
Huh?
Preach.
Oh, okay. The 25th Amendment is what deals with what happens when a president is unfit to serve. So this is when the vice president decides that the president is no longer mentally fit to serve and they have to do something about it because, right, they can't serve. So there's two ways that the vice president can kind of essentially take over. The vice president gets all of the members of the cabinet to agree with him, and then they go to the Senate and maybe the House of Reps, I think it's the Senate, and they present their case, the Senate votes yes or no, boom, vice president then becomes president. The other way is the vice president gets with this commission that has never been created before, that was the language for the commission was created when the 25th Amendment was ratified, when it was passed. However, the commission was just never created. So it's the same process. The VP with this commission, they decide that the president is unfit to serve. They go to Congress. Congress makes a vote. VP becomes president. So this commission, in Pelosi's words, is going to be, I believe, like a 20-person commission, 8 members from Republicans, 8 members of Democrats, and then the remaining are going to be nonpartisan, like physicians, I believe, various physicians to kind of help determine the health of the president. And so this commission has never been created before, and I believe it's been brought up a handful of times since the 25th Amendment has been passed, and it's kind of always been looked at as as you can imagine, a very political thing. Like, why would you be bringing up this commission if you weren't trying to use this commission, right? So Nancy Pelosi, she's talking about making this commission. Now, Nancy Pelosi is a Democrat. If she believes, which I would have to assume as the Speaker of the House, or Senate Majority Leader, Speaker of the House, I don't know, one of the two, a top-ranking Democratic member, she has to have access to polling, data, information that we, the general public, don't know. And we would have to assume that she likes her chances of Joe Biden, the Democratic nominee, becoming president. Now, if this commission is created, who is the vice president in a Joe Biden administration? Kamala Harris. Is Joe Biden facing some sort of mental decline? It appears to be. I don't know for sure. I'm not a doctor. I'm just someone that watches.
Perfect coup to shoehorn in this woman as a president? Yes, it would be.
Who you could never get, right? Who flamed out spectacularly during the primary, right? Joe Biden brings them in as kind of, right, a placater for the rest of the Democrats. I don't know. I don't know why he would bring her in.
It's a pandering move.
And also, right, here's a little bit more conspiracy salt to throw on top of this. Nancy Pelosi, where is she from? A Democratic senator from the state of California. Where's Kamala Harris from? Oh, also a Democratic senator from California.
Yeah. Next thing you know, she tries to run for re-election. Who's on the VP ticket? Gavin Newsom.
We become the United States of California. I don't know. Damn. Who knows? That probably won't happen, but might. Who knows?
I can't wait for this election to be over.
It's never going to end. Oh. This is our lives. Well, similar to how Corona is our life, the election is our life. November 3rd is not going to end. November 3rd, the election is not going to end, right? We have states who have already agreed to accept ballots past the election date. So we know the election is probably not going to be called on election day. And even if it is called, the Democrats are going to dispute it if Trump wins. Trump's going to dispute it if the Democrats win.
Of course.
So we're in for a wild next 3 months. 2 months. Until January 20th?
Yeah.
So get your water, get your toilet paper, get your paper towels, get your supplies, get your ammo, ? I don't know. I wouldn't recommend.
We'll see, man. All right. Well, this election may not be over, but this podcast must be.
Oh, must it? Okay. Did we dive too deep into the conspiracy?
I got the hunger.
Biden is sick? Hashtag Biden is sick? ? I don't know. Perhaps has Parkinson's disease?
I'll leave you with this.
Who knows? Not
Biden looks like he's wearing his own skin on himself. Like he skinned himself and somebody else put the whole Biden skin on top.
Joe Biden sometimes have a tremor in his hand? Perhaps. I don't know.
A lot of people tremble.
Perhaps. I don't know. Anyways, this has been The Children of the Beast, episode 12. Follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. It is Children of the Beast podcast. You can follow me at Andrew_the_Hut with 2 T's. You can follow Carlos at Wolfchild1980 on all social media platforms. Except for MySpace. We don't have MySpaces. That's dead. Just like this episode. Dead. Mm-hmm. Goodbye.
Good day.
Darkness.